Sports 24, where sports thrive.
Social media is like a big notice board in the marketplace. What you put on it, everybody will see.
One major definition of integrity is that you should do the right thing even if nobody is looking at you.
At what point do we as a people stand still and say, no, we no longer want money to become that thing that determines who we choose as leaders?
We are 50% of the population, and I really feel that it would make a lot of difference, a big boost to our development if there were more women participation.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Hello, it is good to be with you once again on another Wednesday night where we bring you the news with the extra touch. Tonight, the Federal Executive Council leads with a sizable investment in roads and other critical infrastructure. Second mission journey begins for Professor Yakubu as INEC chairman. We have that. A lot is happening at the National Assembly. INEC is on the radar there. Mining fraud to be investigated, health insurance scheme for upgrade, and much more. The youth are the future, so we have them on tonight from different spheres of life. You know, we always have something on agriculture, and tonight it's fish and smallholder farmers. Find out what it is all about. Well, as usual, it is an interesting package, but that is not for me to say. Find out for yourself, as the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Marbuba, and this is News Extra. You're welcome. The federal government is to inject over 60 billion naira in the construction, rehabilitation and expansion of roads and other critical infrastructure across the country for enhanced socio-economic development. The Federal Executive Council gave the approval at its weekly meeting held virtually for the 27th time in the new normal. And State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the council also ratified the second Nigerian roads safety strategy.
President Muhammadu Buhari presided over the meeting attended by 11 ministers, while other members of the council participated online from their offices across the nation's capital. Addressing the nation's infrastructure deficit once again took the front burner as the council approved 12.15 billion naira for the construction of Yakasai, Badume, Damagu, Makinzali Road in Kano State.
And the rehabilitation of the Kaduna Pambegua Jos Road, linking Kaduna and Plateau states, for 38.701 billion naira.
431.6 million naira has also been approved for the FCT administration as augmentation of the ongoing contract for the reconstruction of Yagba Pache Road, linking Kwali and Abaji area councils.
It's a very important agricultural area, and this particular project, we hope when completed, is going to enhance the economic development of that area, enhance food security in the FCT, and bring about security and peace
The FCT administration also secured an approval of 7.3 billion naira augmentation for the completion of what the minister called critical road infrastructure connecting Abuja Industrial Park with a network of roads within the territory.
As you know, industrialization is one of the key objectives of this administration, and by extension, all the multiplier effects that normally societies will get when they industrialize.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed also announced the approval of a contract for the expansion of the apron for the Maiduguri Airport at 719.1 million naira.
The expansion of the Maiduguri Airport has become necessary because of the increased traffic at the airport. The second contract is a contract was awarded to Zenith General Insurance Company and 19 other insurance companies to ensure assets such as terminal buildings in 22 airports belonging to the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria. The contract is in the sum of 390,055,687 naira 45 kobo.
Meanwhile, in furtherance of efforts at reducing road accidents and fatalities, the Council ratified the second Nigerian road safety strategy.
The pillars upon which this strategy is based are road safety management, safer roads and mobility, safer road users, which is very, very paramount and more important than even the road conditions, safer vehicles, and then the post-crash care.
Targeted at reducing road traffic crashes by 50% by the year 2030, the Nigerian Road Safety Strategy 2 also provides for, amongst others, the global framework of plan of action as well as the establishment of the State's Road Safety Advisory Council, in addition to the one at the federal level. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, and his counterparts from 5 other states have formally presented their reports to the Federal Executive Council on their engagements with stakeholders in the aftermath of the NSAS protest in parts of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again has the details.
The ministers were in their respective states of Kwara, Yobe, Zamfara, Plateau, Abia, and Imo on the orders of President Muhammadu Buhari to brief those that matter on the response of the federal government to the recent NSAS protests and efforts being made towards making life better for all Nigerians. At the council meeting, the ministers answered questions on their observations, findings, and recommendations presented for consideration. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed told newsmen shortly after that their engagements were not only appropriate and timely, but indeed thought-provoking.
Even before the NSAS protest, this administration in particular had put in motion machinery to address unemployment, especially of youth, women, and the vulnerable people. And I said the example of the 75 billion youth fund. And in particular, the Survivor Fund, which is actually aimed at giving a cushion to small and medium enterprises that have been affected by the COVID-19. As of today, over 500,000 unemployed graduates have benefited from the Empower project. And then between the market money, trader money, and farmer money, over 2 million Nigerians have benefited from the grant. So these are kind of things that we went home to tell our people, and it quite resonated very well. Overall, it's been a very good platform for exchange of views between the government and the government.
I conveyed the message of hope and peace by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, and we also informed them of the numerous government intervention programs across the country and in Zamfara State in particular. They appreciated my coming, and they reiterated their support and loyalty to the government and to President Muhammadu Buhari. You may know that Zamfara State did not participate in the EndSARS protest, and they also made some recommendations on which they urged me to bring back to His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari for his consideration.
In Abia State, a documentary was done showing issues concerning war. There is no need for anybody to encourage war anymore. War does not bring prosperity, but peace brings prosperity to the entire world. And that is why we stand for one indivisible nation, Nigeria, for everyone. And that's what Mr. President stands for. And this government has done a lot for this nation within this period, and which we shared with the people, and they are happy with the performance of the federal government.
During the council meeting, 36th in the series for the year 2020, a moment of silence was observed in honor of the late General Domkat Bali, who served twice as Minister of Defense between 1984 to 1985 and 1985 to 1990. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has been sworn in to take charge of Nigeria's electoral umpire for another 5-year term. The swearing-in ceremony performed by President Muhammadu Buhari preceded the weekly meeting of the Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has that.
I, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu.
An academic born in 1962, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu from Bauchi State will go down in history as the only Nigerian to serve for 2 terms as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. First appointed to the office in October 2015 by President Muhammadu Buhari, Professor Yakubu superintended the conduct of Nigeria's 2019 general elections, adjudged to be one of the most transparent and credible in the country. With his reappointment, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu is mandated to be in charge of affairs of the nation's electoral body when Nigerians return to the polls in 2023.
That I will preserve, protect, and defend the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
There was no presidential address at the brief swearing-in ceremony, but the returning INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, promised to discharge his responsibilities consistent with the oath of office taken, as well as his allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
We have clearly demonstrated in recent elections that elections are getting better and better, and the elections will continue to get better and better. By coincidence today, the National Assembly is holding a public hearing on the amendment of the electoral legal framework. This is important, and this time around, working with the National Assembly will ensure the speedy passage of the amendment bill, and once it is assented to, it will help us enormously in confronting the challenges ahead. The preparations for the 2023 general elections have proceeded in earnest. We need certainty, and therefore the electoral legal framework is fundamental, without which we cannot formulate our regulations and guidelines. Without our regulations and guidelines, we cannot conclude work on the manual for the training of ad hoc staff for the elections.
With its vision to be one of the best election management bodies in the world, INEC, as the chairman often says, will remain committed to the conduct of free, fair, and credible elections for sustainable democracy in Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And as the INEC chairman gathers himself for the second half of the game, I'm sure he is interested in President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan's assurance that the new Electoral Act 2020 will be put to test in the first quarter of the year 2021. Lawan gave this assurance at a National Assembly public hearing on INEC and electoral matters. John Yaku was there.
A public hearing where INEC, political parties, civil society organizations, interest groups, and other stakeholders. Issues that dominated discussion border on timely funding of INEC, electronic voting and transmission of results, more women and people with disabilities inclusiveness, early voting, establishment of electoral offences tribunal, diaspora voting, and limitation of election expenses, among others.
Increase of timeline for nominations and a host of other provisions.
For a legal framework for our elections that further strengthens the independence of INEC.
The environment and materials used for elections shall as much practicable be accessible to persons with disabilities.
Security men that are supposed to protect the citizens are used against the citizen.
Chairmen of the joint committees are optimistic that the bill for an act to repeal the Electoral Act No. 6, 2010 as amended and enact the Independent National Electoral Commission Act 2020 will improve the legal framework for credible elections in Nigeria.
The proposed enactment will focus on areas of public and institutional agitations.
All relevant areas of the Electoral Act requiring amendment have been taken care of.
The leadership of the National Assembly aligns with this position as voiced out by the President of the Senate.
For us to have an amendment to the Electoral Act 2010 that will give us the best possible 2023.
We need also to review and improve the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That process has begun.
This, the leadership of the National Assembly says, will be counted in the history of the 9th Assembly. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
The Nigerian Minerals and Mining Law provides that ownership and control of all minerals in Nigeria is vested in
a security issue.
If you travel from Kogi to Abuja late night, you will see trailers. The people you see inside these trailers are foreigners. These are people who are engaged in illegal mining.
Urge the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals, Mines and Steel Development and Metallurgy to investigate this matter and report back to the Senate in 6 weeks.
A bill that seeks to abolish the dichotomy between first degree and diploma, sponsored by Senator Ayo Akinyelure, the School of Mines and Geological Studies Establishment Bill Goyok, sponsored by Senator Dauda Yero, and the Institute of Information and Communications Technology, Uga, Anambra State, sponsored by Senator Ifeanyi Uba, passed second reading.
The graduates of this school will add value because they will be supporting not only the major investors in mining.
To the House from the Senate for concurrence. The legislation seeks upgrading of the scheme to an authority, thereby expanding its scope of operation and coverage of the more than 200 million people in Nigeria. Also from the Senate and passed for second reading is the bill for the establishment of National Transport Commission, a bill seeking alteration to the Constitution in relation to provisions on filing and determining the time within which to file election petitions and appeals, sponsored by Representative Olajide Olatubosun, passed second reading.
Nigerians who approach election tribunals or the trial courts to seek redress where they feel they've been cheated or elections are rigged don't become helpless due to the affliction of time.
21 bills passed first reading, among them the Finance Bill 2020, a bill to establish National Social Investment Program sponsored by the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, and 10 others, and the bill on Presidential Transition Fund from Representative Pam Sopo. Other features at plenary Wednesday is the adoption of a motion to investigate encroachment in Okomu National Park from Representative Dennis Idahusa, a call to repair access roads to the Apapa, Tinken and Kirikiri ports in Lagos from Representative Leke Abejide, and the appeal by Representative Bailey Eke, urging federal government to repair the Aba Owerri
rated outside constitutional bounds. The Minister of Justice maintains that national security is not about publicity and the nation's security architecture cannot be exposed for the sake of getting publicity. Now, less than 3 weeks to Christmas, airfares of trips less than 1 hour across several routes in Nigeria have moved up 100% when ordinarily one would assume that due to the effect of COVID-19, airlines should be competing to cover the losses of the pandemic. The reverse is, however, the case, and our correspondent, Emmanuel Ayumiru, was at the domestic wing.
Why are you selling your ticket for 100,000 naira to go to Lagos? There should be a monitoring department in the NCAA. By the punch of a button, I will know how much is the increase in the jet A1 that they are complaining about, how much is dollar today. So at the end of the day, what is the percentage increase in aviation fuel, and what is the percentage increase in ticket sales?
But people who put their money in aviation want to survive, and I think this is the only way for them to survive. They will need to match revenue with costs.
As airfare is gradually becoming the survivor of the fittest, so also the airlines are struggling not to go under after COVID-19. From the story told in this report, the challenges on how to improve the sector for the benefit of all is
Nigeria in recent times.
Flashback to February 2007, Jeff Kwanange, then African correspondent of the CNN, ran a report on the movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta, showing gunmen holding 24 Filipinos hostage in the swamps of the Niger Delta. It was a story that government believed did not meet journalistic obligations. This prompted a response from the then Minister of Information, Frank Nweke Jr., stating Nigerian government's position that the story was stage-managed.
Of recent, not just Nigeria, most Western media, they are not fair to Africa. And CNN, of course, is like the arrowhead.
Jeff Kwanange denied breaching any journalistic ethics. He got the backing of the CNN, which said it did not pay for any part of the report or for interview tested, saying the report did not live up to the most basic of the core principles of journalism, balance and fairness.
CNN relied heavily on unverified and possibly doctored videos, as well as information sourced from questionable sources.
Again, CNN denied, but later capitulated in a tweet.
There might be some underlying things that the CNN was trying to look for, something bad from Nigeria to report, and this gave them the best opportunity.
Journalistic truth is a process that begins with the professional discipline of assembling and verifying facts, an obligation that compels a journalist to rely on facts and evidence, not on emotions, while working on a story. This is why many believe that Nigeria's image problem has largely been worsened by negative reports about the country in the Western media. Ayo Adewi, NTA News.
Well, thank you so much, Ayo. Up ahead, gender-based violence. Minister brings children on board the fight. Plus, update on the Mambila Hydro project. Please stay.
Danny, can you please take a picture with us? Please, can you sing for us? Of course.
When you need me, you can FaceTime me on the go. Baby, I got you. No matter where you go, oh baby, you carry.
Introducing 9PSB. Open an account right away with your phone number and instantly start to send and receive money by dialing *990#. You can even pay your bills and also enjoy more opportunities to get your cash back through any of our nationwide agents near you.
Dear Nigerians, from the 7th to 11th of December 2020, the federal government will be implementing measles second dose of 15 months as part of the routine immunization schedule across the 19 northern states and the FCT. The measles second dose has already been introduced by the government in the 17 southern states since November 2019. Apart from the usual first dose of measles at 9 months old, all eligible children 15 months old would be required to take the second dose of measles vaccine. Measles has infected and killed many. As parents, we must forsake all doubts and visit the nearest health facility or vaccination post.
All over Nigeria to confirm say they be member of our party during this exercise. We go start from December 12, 2020, reach January 9, 2021. All our members wey never register and those wey dey hungry to join our party fit use this opportunity take join. The registration go take place for all the wards wey dey our states for the same time. No waste time. Join our party so that you go fit contribute to progress and better governance for we country. My country people, no forget say if you join our party today, e go give you power to contest for election and play role for the government of our country. E never finish o. If you register, you go even get power to choose who go be our party candidate for all our political positions for government. Go register now. Give yourself power. Do am now o.
Imagine the joy that fills your heart when you have just given birth. Whatever your size, we got you.
Hold up, grandmother.
With our Buy Right chat, you can get the best mattress that goes with your body weight. Don't just buy.
To bounce back with a win when they welcome West Bromwich Albion to St. James's Park. Find out this Saturday when Newcastle United host West Bromwich Albion on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Papa Ijebu, Lipton Tea, and Close Up in association with Gold.com.
Welcome back. Do you still remember the story aired on NTA earlier this year on a group of women in a hard-to-reach community in Jigawa who contributed their hard-earned federal government conditional cash stipends to purchase a 1 million naira vehicle? The vehicle was to ease transportation of the pregnant ones among them for delivery in hospitals that are not nearby. How are the people of this village faring now? Mansour Aliyu Hassan revisited the village, and here are his findings.
It is a journey of over 100 kilometers from Dutse, the capital city of Jigawa State, to Bardo village of Aujarawad in Tora local government area. Bardo is also the birthplace of those women. Alia reported there of procuring a vehicle. Vehicle, according to this group of women, is serving not only the Bardo community, as 19 other neighboring villages also benefit.
Not only Bordeaux community, but others from nearby are equally benefiting. Purchasing this vehicle is a blessing to all of us here, even we that did not contribute.
The decaying structure of the health facility, a lack of any equipment, is the only noticeable feature cited here, meaning the Bordeaux community has to continue to use the services of their vehicle to reach nearby hospitals. The good news, however, is a philanthropist has donated another vehicle as an encouragement. While the NTA crew was on its way out of Bordeaux, our camera lens captures the vehicle conveying a sick person to the Jahun General Hospital. Many are of the view that this noble gesture of Bordeaux women will surely go a long way towards complementing federal government efforts in reducing the high rate of maternal mortality, particularly among the rural women. On its part, Jigawa State government has introduced a policy in collaboration with transport unions to support these hard-to-reach communities. But the public commentators believe that the challenge requires all hands must be on deck.
Who are the hosts or the locals who reside in these places that are going to be affected? They call it project affected persons.
We are loyal to our practice force, our ethics, and then to the nation. So be rest assured that nobody will be shortchanged in this whole process.
Both the state government and community stakeholders pledge to give the needed support and protection for the success of the project.
I would not accept politics. We are happy, and as a host community, we are going to be the best host community to this damn project. That is the assurance.
And today they're here with a team of surveyors. That means the federal government and the state government, they are serious about this project.
And we have adequately sensitized the people about compensation.
The template used
potential instruments in the hand of the devil.
The advocacy and sensitization campaign in Ado Okpoku Ogbadigbo Federal Constituency, therefore, is to stem the tide of the growing menace of drug abuse.
This program is very, very timely because if you look around, you see that so many youths are involved in drug abuse.
The fight against drug and substance abuse is a collective one that must be approached through intervention strategies, advocacy, and awareness creation.
Please let us not stigmatize them so that they won't be reluctant to come out to seek for help. And the communities, please bring out those people that are spoiling our youths. The dealers, you're not being fair to our youths.
If we fail to conscientize, sensitize our people against the danger of narcotic drug addiction, we labor in vain in whatever investment we do in our youth.
And then the benefit we are going to have if we let them know about the dangers of this abuse of drugs.
Participants at the campaign were decorated as anti-drug abuse and take the message back to their respective communities and beyond.
And we need the men, we need the voices of the men too. Help us get to the solution. Thank you for making available these girls and boys to be here, to listen to us, and to learn on the need for them to protect themselves and to speak out when they see danger around them.
From UNICEF, Nigerian Police Force, and other key players come tips on self-defense.
Safety is important. First, what you need to think is, are you in a safe place? If you are not feeling safe, please consider reaching out to someone you trust.
There is a more rampant and silent challenge we collectively need to address, which is that of violence in schools and on the way to school.
Though all looking young and innocent, these children too have suggestions on what can be done to curtail.
With the introduction of Bridge Bank Failure Resolution Mechanism that addressed the distress in 4 failed banks, AfriBank, Bank PHB, Spring Bank, and Sky Bank. The Bridge Bank mechanism was adopted as a cost-effective option of guaranteeing billions of depositors' funds, saving thousands of jobs, as well as ensuring continuity of banking services. He implores the staff to keep the fire burning.
And I assure you that by God's grace, I'm happy and fulfilled. Amen. This cannot be without the immense support and contribution of all the staff of the Federation. It has always been a teamwork since we started in 1989.
The corporation in the last 10 years successfully carried in the years ahead. Is there anything fishy about fish consumption and production in Nigeria? And what is the state of onions in our national life? Find out after these messages.
In a country filled with different and unique kinds of people, there's no such thing as one size fits all for everything, especially sleep. That's why there's a mocha specially made for you. The Pepper Dem Gang, the Mamas, the Daddies, the Papas. There's the Daddies, the Papas, the Zaddies. Right gadgets for every moment. Redmi Note 9 Pro. Upgrade your life. Powered by Xiaomi.
Customer, here are the tomatoes. What else shall I give you?
Hot pepper and Auntie, this your cough is getting out of hand now.
Take it easy with her now. But customer, this your cough. You should go to the hospital.
You know I can't go there with this cough at this time. They'll just say I have COVID-19.
Customer, every cough is different. It could be tuberculosis.
It's true, Auntie. Check check am o, make you dey sure.
Because who
that cough for tuberculosis?
Check am o, make you dey sure.
If your cough is more than 2 weeks, it could be tuberculosis. TB test and TB treatment.
Herbal twins? They look so alike, but they don't like wearing the same things. And my little man, I had to find out the hard way because I've been trying to teach him my way. He loves to learn his own way because doing things his way is more fulfilling. Everybody believes their way is best. That's why Golden Penny Pasta is our favorite meal because due to its non-stickiness, it allows me to satisfy everybody just the way they want it.
Golden Penny Pasta, made with durum wheat, is tasty, nutritious, a source of protein and fiber, and non-sticky, so you can cook, serve, and eat your pasta just the way you like it. Go on and enjoy your Golden Penny Pasta the way you want it. With Golden Penny Pasta, your way is best.
Wednesday, 5:28 p.m. Getting ready to lay down some tunes, but something ain't right. There's some discomfort in my throat. No worries though, TomTom Fresh Lime is here to save the day. Discomfort gone, time to bring the heat. Thanks TomTom Fresh Lime for giving me soothing relief. TomTom Fresh Lime, cool with a zing.
No leakage. Yes, moped. No leakage.
For domestic and foreign port users, it is also aimed at attracting more foreign direct investment for the nation that could enhance economic development in the business environment designed to facilitate the ease of doing business. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the process manual on port operation is expected to be one of the key indicators for the effective implementation of the Executive Order 1.
The cost and effects of corruption impose on us a moral obligation to fight it with energy and will, and by strengthening all institutional systems and processes as well as promoting a culture of transparency and accountability. I sincerely hope that this is just one of the many solutions that will be applied towards building an enabling environment in the port sector.
And the process manual is expected to reduce corruption in the port processes and reduce the opportunity for illegal demands in the ports.
Also be in line with the best practices in the world. Our port must be sanitized because of we want efficiency, we want delivery of cargo, we are in competition with other ports, and so our ports must excel.
My agency, that's NIMASA, as a regulator, this is what we have been clamoring on, because the International Maritime Organization, what they want to see the international best practices.
Bottlenecks are removed. There's ease.
We apologize for the loss of audio in that report. We'll bring you the report in the course of the bulletin. To cushion the impact of coronavirus pandemic on food security, the federal government and the African Union Development Agency are working out modalities to empower smallholder farmers in the country with grants and farming inputs. At a two-day technical roundtable, governors and representatives from 22 states committed to domesticate in the agricultural initiative. Mitari Bank tells us more.
$1 billion have been earmarked by the African Union Development Agency to help smallholder farmers on the continent recover from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, as well as boost farming activities and household income within the next 10 years. Nigeria has been considered to pilot the agricultural initiative as many states pledged to provide land and counterpart funding.
90% of our farmers are smallholder farmers. So it's the yield per hectare.
Agriculture is what we are now using to take a lot of people off the street.
But they are cheaper compared with other markets in the metropolis. However, there were complaints from buyers about a particular item described as diamond. That is the onion.
The street I'm living, the old street, nobody was selling onions, no even single person.
For some people, it's a must for them to use onions and cook.
It's 300 naira onions that I used to buy, Isha. It's
small and we are already spoiled.
This one we are buying 100 naira before, now 300.
The story has changed as onion in its different colors is now available and affordable.
By this time, we are buying one bag 65, 70.
What about before, like last month?
Like last month, 90, 85.
They first planted in the north, but now they have planted new ones, and that new ones start coming out. So that's why the price will.
3 keys for 3 days.
Governor Nasru Ahmad El-Rufai tests running the new mobile ambulances. It is an intervention coming at the right time as the state is experiencing sudden rise in COVID-19 infection and bracing up to fight the virus. The governor informed the representatives of the donor, BOA group of companies that the state government will not hesitate to lock down again if the citizens refuse to obey the prevention protocols.
The rates of infection are surging ahead, and we have now decided that every employee of the Kaduna State government must be tested, and no person will be allowed to enter any government office without mask. If people refuse to wear masks and observe social distancing, we will consider locking down the state once again. Nobody wants that. We know the impact of that on lives and livelihoods, but we must save lives first.
And because of his support for group have donated more than 7 billion naira worth of support both for the federal government, state government.
So as to overcome the crude oil price volatility that mostly affects economic performance and expand the energy value chain for economic growth, the Central Bank of Nigeria in September offered 250 billion naira intervention facility as loan to companies willing to invest in gas. The initiative targeted at stimulating investment in the development of infrastructure to boost domestic gas resources for economic growth. Energy players, note, will aggressively drive more revenue.
By January this year, it became evident to Mr. President, who is the substantial Minister of Petroleum Resources, that we simply can't continue running the hydrocarbon industry the way we've been running for the last 70 years. And that the reality, public politics has to play out. And he therefore declared 2020 as the year of gas.
As the 9th largest gas reserves country in the world, with over 188 trillion cubic feet of gas, which are
congratulate you for progress on your journey. Now, Nigeria's #1 choice of mothers have Molfix Air Dry. Thanks to its ultra absorbency and breathability, Molfix has the dryness all the mothers dream of. So the babies will not experience any rash. Babies are always comfortable. Mothers are too, because they don't need to worry about ventilation. Thanks to Molfix Air Dry. Now, babies and mothers enjoy the ultimate peace. Come and join the mothers who experience Molfix Air Dry.
Shola, come and help me. You need to learn. But I'm more interested in drawing. How are you going to be part of the business if you don't?
Lipton.
The rich taste of Lipton awakens body and mind.
Let me... Son, these designs...
It's locally and internationally to effectively deliver on its mandate. With 37 area offices and 5 industrial skills training centers across the country, ITF is pushing to reduce unemployment by providing relevant technical and vocational skills for employability and entrepreneurship in diverse trades and crafts. Whether you're a public or private organization seeking to improve the skills of your personnel or an individual looking to acquire skills that will increase your chances of employment or even to help start your own business, today's ITF has a program for you. Speak to us today. Contact our area offices nationwide or visit our website www.itf.gov.ng. ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
Newcastle United had their game called off last week. Will they be able to bounce back with a win when they welcome
200 computer unit ICT center in the school by the federal government? These students are happy that they can write their computer-based entrance examination without having to travel far.
We're able to do our practicals very well now.
I want to know how the way they can type on it, the way they can do anything about the system.
This center helps us in CorelDRAW, Paint.
The center, equipped with a central server and a generating set, is expected to serve as JAM CBT center for students in the area.
This project takes us one step closer to our collective goal of increasing internet penetration across the country, and of course aligns with the federal government's broadband plan that seeks to ensure that internet penetration reaches 70%.
This aligns.
Guest lecturer Comrade Olaoye Senda highlighted the successes and failures of the African Union while renewing the call for a more effective collaboration in addressing common challenges among African nations.
That wonderful and gladdening contribution of a Nigerian, Dr. Onyagu, I had to do a lot with our Pfizer, manufactured that. They won't attribute most of it to Africans.
We must develop human capacity in these areas of science. It's very, very important. Because a pandemic has happened now, it can happen again.
Other discussants urged the youth to be creative, think out of the box, prefer solutions to hidden and obvious problems, as well as to embrace entrepreneurship.
I know in Africa, most of the solution, people expect it to come from the government. But we'll look at all the industrial nations and we'll see that it was actually tackled.